I get some rounds with the GOAT. One of the GOATs. You know what I mean? Two GOATs. Iron Sharpreneur.
Leaked footage of Terence "Bud" Crawford sparring the legend, Olympic gold medalist, two-division champion, and Hall of Famer Andre S.O.G. Ward.
What is there to talk about? You fighting the best fighter in the world. You better be taking it serious. You know, that goes to show, you know, how serious he's taking me and how much he respects me.
Leaked sparring and training footage of Terence Crawford ahead of his fight with Canelo Alvarez has set the boxing world buzzing, showcasing Crawford's sharp footwork, fast combinations, and relentless pace during intense. Terence Crawford is reportedly sparring with former champion Andre Ward as he prepares for the highly anticipated showdown with Canelo Alvarez. Ward's technical brilliance, defensive mastery, and ring intelligence make him an exceptional sparring partner, offering Crawford a chance to refine his timing and strategy. Fans see this partnership as a clear sign of Crawford's commitment, believing that training alongside Ward demonstrates how seriously he is approaching the fight to counter Canelo's experience, strength, and
Leaked footage of Terence "Bud" Crawford sparring the legend, Olympic gold medalist, two-division champion, and Hall of Famer Andre S.O.G. Ward. And people are speculating Andre Ward is helping Terence Crawford prepare for his upcoming showdown in September against Saul Canelo Alvarez, but that's just simply not the truth. The truth of the matter is that this sparring is old. This is not up-to-date sparring for Terence "Bud" Crawford. This is old sparring. But nonetheless, Terence Crawford has people like Andre Ward that can help him prepare for Canelo Alvarez and are willing to do so. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know what y'all think. Who wins this fight?
Simon Jordan, a respected voice in the sports media world, has stirred debate with his bold claim that Terence Crawford might finally be the man to solve the puzzle of Canelo Alvarez. By labeling Crawford as Canelo's kryptonite, Jordan suggests the undefeated American has the rare blend of style, adaptability, and ring intelligence required to neutralize Alvarez's greatest strengths. Crawford's career has consistently showcased his ability to adjust mid-fight, picking apart opponents with patience, precision, and tactical brilliance. This versatility stands in sharp contrast to Canelo's usual dominance, which relies heavily on dictating tempo and exploiting mistakes. Jordan's perspective has fueled anticipation for the fight, positioning Crawford as a legitimate threat to Alvarez's.
I went straight away with Crawford, and so did Spence. I mean, other people that we've spoken to, I think Paul Smith and other people that sit on the show with us think it will be Canelo Alvarez because of size. We've seen Canelo Alvarez take that journey up to light heavy and find himself coming up against Dimitri Bivol and not being able to do what he does at super middleweights. I just think that Crawford is such a fighter of such stature and competence that he might just be the kryptonite to Sola.
Terence Crawford has consistently stressed that he never underestimates any opponent, regardless of their name, reputation, or status in boxing. He insists on preparing with the same intensity and discipline for every fight, showing his commitment to consistency. As he gears up for the highly anticipated clash with Canelo Alvarez, Crawford has made it clear that his approach will not change. By treating each bout as the most important of his career, he avoids distractions from hype or intimidation. His preparation for Canelo will showcase the same conditioning, precision, and tactical planning that have long defined his technical brilliance.
At the end of the day, you know, when you look at Spence, that was my biggest challenge. When you look at Postal, that was my biggest challenge. When you look at Masvidal, that was one of my big challenges because I was moving up in weight and, you know, given the circumstances that, you know, his background, amateur background, and things like that, Gamboa was my biggest. They all big challenges in their own way.
Have you put on a lot of weight or muscle? Like, how is it at that point? Because I know a lot of people have said, like, hey, you're fighting a big guy, 168, he's used to fighting guys that are bigger than him. It might be smart to put on a little bit more like mass.
Comes natural with working out.
Yeah.
You know, like I said before, the only thing about this camp different than any other camp is I don't gotta cut muscle. I don't gotta, you know, watch what I do in strength conditioning. I can, you know, go fully all out, you know, and just do what I need to do to get stronger.
To you, how much is the skull fight performance kind of like a thing you're keeping an eye on?
Well, you know, that's not a fight that I really, you know, look into because, you know, Canelo is a great fighter, and one bad performance don't define a fighter. You know, given the circumstances of his previous fights, and you know, we looking forward to Canelo being the best Canelo that he can be. Skull might not have made him get to that point where he felt any danger or any significance where he had to go to that deeper level in training or take the fight as serious as he's taking this fight. So, you know, I don't know. It was definitely.
Yeah, some said that, let me know just your perspective on this. Some have said that you have to fight like Skull in order to win the fight. Do you feel that you have to fight that way to beat Canelo, or you're like, I could beat him in the mid distance?
Just fight my fight. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they have their opinions. They have, you know, they what's going to happen.
Among fans and analysts, one recurring concern centers on boxing politics, especially when a superstar like Canelo Alvarez is in the ring. Many argue that the fight is judged fairly. Terence Crawford has the tools to win, though fears of a controversial decision remain. The possibility of Crawford earning a clean victory excites fans, because it could pave the way for a massive future showdown with David Benavidez. Such a clash would not only highlight two elite fighters at their peak, but also create a generational spectacle for boxing. A Crawford victory over Canelo would shake up pound-for-pound rankings and pressure promoters to deliver the Crawford-Benavidez matchup, making the upcoming bout a potential turning point in shaping the sport's future.
You should know by firsthand what Crawford like. His older son got his ass whooped by Terence Crawford already. You fear that Crawford beat the shit out of Canelo, the world gonna scream for Crawford versus Benavidez.
Yeah, right. Crawford don't want that, bro. Don't forget Turkey offered Crawford that fight already. Chill.
And he said he'll take it.
Nah, he asked for a 64-pound catch weight.
Yeah.
Turkey sent the offer for 64 pounds.
Yeah. You know what's up.
We know what's up.
That fat boy don't want it with Crawford. Benavidez don't look like he in shape.
Lord
That boy
of
not in
mercy.
shape. That boy start training camp a week before the fight, and then he get on the scale. Starve himself. That boy don't got an ab, he ain't got a definition of a muscle.
Respected trainer Robert Garcia has expressed strong confidence in Canelo Alvarez, emphasizing that the Mexican superstar is taking this fight with Terence Crawford extremely seriously. Garcia noted that Canelo will not approach this challenge as he did in the criticized John Ryder bout, where his lackluster performance raised questions. Instead, he expects Canelo to be fully prepared, highly motivated, and tactically sharp on fight night. At the same time, Garcia acknowledged Crawford's danger, praising his determination and versatility, while stressing that he cannot be underestimated. Ultimately, however, Garcia favors Canelo to prevail. His assessment mirrors the divide among experts between Crawford's adaptability and Canelo's proven championship pedigree.
But I go based on Canelo's last two performances where Sam put in one punch at a time. But I don't see him doing that. I think he's going to put the fight on top of this fight. So more likely Canelo's going to win. Maybe even hurt Crawford. But do I think Crawford has a chance? 100%.
I don't see Crawford running. I think Crawford, if he goes out on a shield like Spence.
Exactly. And he's got good skills too to fight a pretty fair fight and win a decision. But
does he have enough power to keep Canelo off him? Canelo takes a good punch.
Not, but he doesn't pressure that hard anymore. He doesn't put that pressure anymore. So combinations, movements, defense. But could get knocked out in the last round even if he's winning every single round. But he's got to fight a point for the fight. And he do it, I think he can. But I still put my money on Canelo if I have to.
Ryan Garcia recently shared his thoughts on the highly anticipated fight, praising Terence Crawford for his slick defense, sharp reflexes, and ability to slip punches effectively. He noted that Crawford has the skill set to evade Canelo Alvarez's power shots and frustrate him with constant movement. Ryan also acknowledged Crawford's toughness, grit, and remarkable all-around ability. However, despite his admiration, Ryan Garcia does not believe Crawford will win. His perspective highlights the widespread confidence in Canelo's size, durability, and championship pedigree. By recognizing Crawford's talent but predicting a Canelo victory, Ryan joins those who see a competitive fight but favor Canelo's edge in strength and physicality.
Go for Canelo, Rod.
Oh.
Keep it a stack. This is the fight of the century. Everybody's talking.
I know.
How do you see it, man?
Man, I really see I see that Bud is gonna do good. He's gonna do good. But I don't think he's gonna win. But I do see Bud like getting a lot of punches off, being able to tag Canelo with some shots, but they have no effect. That's the thing.
He has the best chin that I've ever
Bro,
seen.
and nothing moves his head.
I seen one time Triple G hit him and he kind of like, and then he's right back on it.
Bro, that's the thing. Like, I know he's gonna be able to hit Canelo because I've seen Canelo in sparring where he like, not that he's getting hit. Well, he is getting hit, but it's so ineffective that what he's doing is just he imposing himself too well, and I see that happening. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, Crawford is a great fighter. I think he's one of the best. I just think that he's fighting a little bit more than he could chew. But you never know. If anybody can do it, it could be Crawford. You know, I do see him like when he fights. I'm like, yeah, how do you beat this guy? You know, he could do it all. He could box. He could bang. He could, you know, step on the gas when he needs to. He could, you know, he could do everything. The only thing I see is sometimes he gets cracked with some crazy ass shots. But other than that, I mean, he's really one of the most complete fighters I've seen.
One of the strongest arguments against Terence Crawford's chances comes from analysts who highlight Canelo Alvarez's immense experience at the highest level. Over the years, Canelo has shared the ring with legends like Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Gennady Golovkin, testing himself against nearly every style in boxing, from slick defensive technicians to aggressive power punchers. His resume covers the full spectrum of elite opposition. Critics argue that no matter how talented Crawford is, he cannot present a challenge Canelo hasn't already faced. They believe Canelo's deep familiarity with diverse styles equips him with the ability to adjust, adapt, and neutralize Crawford's tactics. This fuels skepticism about Crawford's chances against Canelo's proven versatility and veteran experience.
There's no footwork that Canelo Alvarez hasn't seen. He's seen the footwork of Floyd Mayweather. He's seen the footwork of Lara. He's seen the footwork of Bland and Billy Joe Saunders, and he's seen people switch up just like he's seen that before. He's seen the Danny Jacobs switch up or watch the third round of the Danny Jacobs fight with Canelo Alvarez. He's seen the switch up, and then he was putting on a beating on Danny Jacobs when he switched, and he made him switch right back. He's seen switches. He's seen movement. He's seen he got hit with the power punches like Triple G, Cobra, and stuff like that. He felt that. Ain't nothing that Terence Crawford going to bring to the table that Canelo Alvarez cannot handle. IQ, he's been with the ring with IQ. He's been in the ring with that. He's been in the ring with people with constant pressure. He's been in the ring with that. Terence Crawford don't got nothing that Canelo Alvarez haven't experienced. Terence Crawford got nothing that Canelo Alvarez haven't beat. Terence Crawford's got nothing to overwhelm Canelo Alvarez. He don't have the high value punching of Bovo. He don't throw 700 punches a fight. He don't throw all those. He don't throw over 50 punches around. 60 punches around. He don't do it, so he's not gonna overwhelm Canelo Alvarez. He's not gonna overpower Canelo Alvarez. As a matter of fact, oh yo, we got the footwork. We ain't seen all that magical footwork versus Majimov. We ain't seen that magical footwork versus Majimov. We ain't seen the defensive whiz. He's not a defensive whiz, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna tell you like this: Terence Crawford is good and it's great. Gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget that Terence Crawford does not have a first-tier Hall of Fame resume.
Another focal point in the discussion has been Canelo Alvarez's decision to spar with Jaron Boots Ennis, a move that highlights a commitment to thorough preparation. By seeking elite-level sparring, Canelo sharpens his reflexes and timing against top-tier opposition. Analysts, however, point out that Crawford and Ennis present very different challenges. Crawford being patient, calculating, and strategic, while Ennis relies more on raw athleticism and explosive offensive.
It does look like he respects Terence Crawford to the point where he is willing to go out and get, regardless if they're big name or not, some of the best guys that he can bring in to his camp. And also, there's the mind games aspect. it's pretty well known now in the boxing world that Boots Ennis and Bud Crawford was the fight a lot of people wanted, and Bud chose to go to 168 and fight Canelo versus fighting Boots coming up to 154, and there was that interaction between the two of them all the way back, I think, in Los Angeles. Before Bud Crawford was going to fight Madrimov, yeah, it was this right here.
Thought she wasn't gonna watch it.
There it was just Bud saying I thought she wasn't going to watch it, talking about he wasn't going to watch Madrimov and Bud fight. But that's been the long rumored fight, and some people, not me, I would never say this, but some people have said that Bud avoided Jaron Boots Ennis to go and fight Canelo at 68. So, could it be a potential mind game play from Canelo to say, you know what, I got the guy that you didn't want to fight to come in and spar me to prepare for you, and he has somewhat of a similar style, and he can do a lot of the things that you can do. Maybe not on the same level. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that Boots Ennis is as good or is the same fighter as Bud Crawford. That would be crazy to say, right? All those things, by the way, can be true. That Canelo wanted an advantage in the mind game, right? He wanted to kind of play some games with Bud and see if he would take the bait and get a little nervous that he was, bringing in the Rashidi Ellis's and the Jaron Boots Ennis spar. And also, yes, I think Bud is far and away good enough to threaten Canelo, to beat Canelo. And if Canelo shows up in William Skull fashion, then that fight's not going to go well for him. So yeah, he probably upped the level this time.
Amir Khan, who once faced Terence Crawford in the ring, has offered high praise for attributes that often go unnoticed in Crawford's skill set. Khan emphasized his surprising physical strength, pointing out Crawford's ability to wrestle, control opponents in clinches, and impose himself physically when needed. He also noted Crawford's power punching, suggesting that many underestimate the true force behind his shots. Coming from someone who personally...
Canelo, I guess you could say. Exactly, yeah, glove kick, yeah. Well, other than that, I don't class the Mayweather fight a hard fight because Mayweather just run it, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I guess people had the size.
People had the size advantage, but this one, I think Canelo has the size advantage. But then again, I've always said Crawford puts on the weight well. If you look at size of him, you see his picture when he was like 185. Yeah. He looked huge, but he looked jacked up and he looked strong at the weight as well. But now I remember when I sparred with him, and I think, wow, he's heavy and he's heavy-handed as well.
People don't give as well, yeah.
Yeah, people don't give him the credit for his power. Crawford bangs hard, man. I mean, and also has that muscle strength. I saw him in the gym when I was training with them, wrestling heavyweights and taking them down, wrestling. So I don't know if you know this, but Crawford is, I think he was like one of the top national wrestlers.
He was a good radio. I think he wrestled when he was younger, and he was very. You always see him wrestling people at events.
Strong. So either he's one guy you don't want to fight because if you ever stand off with him, he's gonna try knocking you out. And if he takes you down, you're fucked as well. So, I mean, but look, it's a great fight that we're going to see because we've not really seen a fight where it's like it is a proper 50-50 fight. Why people are saying it's a 50-50 fight? Because Canelo has all the advantages, and Crawford has never been beaten. So that's why. And Crawford looks unbeatable. So it's going to be a good fight.
I think you must be the only guy who said you've got both the fighters.
Yeah.
When you take into account both of Canelo and Crawford's advantages, who do you think has an upper hand? Would it be Crawford with the movement or Canelo with the power, would you say? What would you say is
I think Crawford, in my opinion, has more attributes, like more advantages in this fight because being the guy that's not taking much punishment and not many hard fights.
Some analysts view this fight not merely as a high-risk challenge for Terence Crawford, but as a massive opportunity to cement his legacy. They point out that years of sparring with elite names and competing at the sport's highest levels have prepared him for this defining moment. Both fighters have already been tested in major bouts, yet this particular matchup represents a unique crossroad. For Crawford, it is a chance to prove that his dominance at welterweight can successfully carry over into a higher division against one of boxing's most iconic superstars. Still, skepticism lingers. Critics highlight concerns about his age and physical dimensions compared to Canelo Alvarez. At 36, Crawford is approaching the latter stages of his career, and moving up to face a naturally larger, stronger opponent presents a daunting challenge. Detractors argue that size, youth, and raw physicality might tilt the balance in Canelo's favor, overwhelming Crawford despite his skill, intelligence, and adaptability. These doubts feed into the drama of the matchup, framing it not only as Crawford versus Canelo, but also Crawford against the realities of time and size. Ultimately, fight night will provide the answers.
Too old and too small.
No, I think he is. A lot of people say Canelo's on the decline, but y'all motherfuckers tend to forget this is a small dude competing against natural dudes. So it's more obvious that he's gonna look more on the decline because he's fighting bigger dudes. But the first time he did go up to fight a dude that was similar in weight when rehydrated, he didn't look as the killer y'all make him to be. I mean, he demolished the fucking most expensive trash dummy. Y'all are dumb as shit. Y'all still living off that fight. They're still living off of it, and they can't say that he's old because they've only gotten one fight after that fight. Yeah, I think he's old, bro. 37. It's gonna be 2 years since he fought Errol Spence. I do think he's old, and it's gonna show when he's up there with the dude that's been fighting naturally bigger men.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned.